One news show's hitting all the right notes.
Because I'm famous!
It's thoroughly charming and drop-dead funny.
Well, I guess if you're not gasping at that, you're simply not a gasper.
TV's #1 new comedy, Ghosts. Catch up on demand and streaming on Paramount+.
Coming up, the search continues for a missing Perry County woman after her father was found dead last month.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hetzley. Search and rescue teams hit Troublesome Creek again Wednesday looking for a woman who went missing nearly 6 weeks ago. Her father's remains were found in mid-January. WYMT's Zach Hawk joined the search and has an update.
By car, boat, and on foot, crews continue to search for Misty D. Williams of Perry County, who went missing January 1st. Emergency Management Director Jerry Stacy says the wintry start to the year is not helping.
We've been out a lot in this search, but there's been a lot of days that we would like to search that we couldn't because of the weather.
The search continued Wednesday, employing many of the methods that have been used the past month.
We went from just walking creek banks to floating water and looking visually. Also, we've had drones up in different times in different areas.
Hazard Fire Captain Jamie Ferris was glad to have an expert assisting their efforts.
We had Kentucky Search Dog Association with us. They was on the first boat. So we're watching that dog to see if it gets any hits. Also in the back boat, we've got 3 personnel.
Despite not finding success yet, these search crews made up of volunteer firefighters and hazard firefighters are holding out hope they can bring some sort of closure to the family.
The weather has been a hindrance, but you know, our guys, pull their boots on and go at it every day and work hard every time that we're out here, and very proud of them.
Stacy says a previous Perry County missing person was not found until more than a year later, 300 miles away. And while he hopes that is not the case this time, says bringing any comfort to the family is the ultimate goal. In Perry County, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
Search and rescue officials tell us they will continue to search as best they can until they have exhausted all options. Tonight, Versailles police and a racehorse trainer need the public's help in a theft investigation. Wesley Ward says a bag full of trophies were stolen from his home in Woodford County. Ward's son Riley says 12 trophies from the Royal Ascot and 1 from the Breeders' Cup were taken by the suspect. Riley says the trophies are valued at around $100,000, but adds the real value is in the memories their family shared through those trophies.
One of the trophies in particular, the Queen of England presented on the platform to my children. And really, the value is just my family, my kids, and myself for accomplishments that we've shared together in Europe and their major races.
Ward says he'd love to give a reward to anyone who could get the trophies back. The Versailles Police Department is asking anyone with information about the incident to call them. 2 people faced drug charges after they were arrested on Wednesday in Logan County, West Virginia. Ryan Davis and Joseph Runyon were both arrested after police found 51 grams of suspected fentanyl, 24 grams of a crystal rock substance, 15 grams of a green vegetation, and a set of digital scales inside a home. They were charged with possession with intent to deliver, conspiracy, possession of fentanyl, and obstructing an officer. Throughout the region, people are seeing an increase on their power bills. The Big Sandy Rural Electric Cooperative and the East Kentucky Power Cooperative say there are multiple reasons why. One is the increased usage due to heating your home during a very cold January, as well as a big spike in the cost of fuel.
In the last 3 months of 2021, East Kentucky Power saw both gas prices and purchase power prices that were about twice as much as we were paying in 2020.
Big Sandy RACC President Bruce Davis says the cooperative is waiving late fees in February, and if you are a member and have trouble paying your bill, you can call the Big Sandy RECC office for help. Officials with the City of Martin Fire Department said on Facebook they were on the scene of a forest fire Wednesday night. The fire was on Spurlock Church Road in Printer. As of 7 o'clock tonight, though, the fire was out with no injuries reported.
And that is something we have to be careful of when we get these breezy days like this. The potential there when it's breezy and there's not a lot of moisture in the air for some of those wildfires to break out. Thankfully, that one near Printer, not significant, but the possibility will be there as we continue through tomorrow with some gusty winds possible. Outside right now, you see high knob camera UVA-wise, all quiet. Down into the low 40s at this hour. Also quiet right now into downtown Whitesburg. Plenty of starry skies up above. 44 right now. Current temperature, those west-southwest winds. There's that latest boundary pushing a few showers into the region, and I say a few, maybe into parts of Wayne and McCreary County, and some spotty showers into Whitley, Laurel, and up into Rockcastle, Pulaski County, and even over into Rowan County at this hour. Not a huge deal. Temperatures remain mid to upper 40s around the region. Jacksboro's already fallen to 39. We can't expect too much in the way of some colder weather on the backside of this front. Yeah, it's going to be chilly tonight, but we're not talking Arctic air coming in, so the mild conditions continue right on into the end of the work week. I'll have the details on that and when another chance for some rain to potentially snow comes in coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. One Johnson County boy is waiting for a homecoming after nearly 3 months of hospitalizations in Cincinnati. After a recent COVID diagnosis, respiratory issues, and bowel concerns, 6-year-old Colton Ramey is looking at more time at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. So community members are stepping up to help with an online fundraiser.
I stress about, how am I going to get this done? I try getting a job while I'm up here to try to help, where I can pay bills at home. And no one's going to hire someone just for temporary work. So I worry about that.
O'Brien says the fundraiser organized by family friend Courtney Kreider is already such a blessing to her and Colton, and she is in awe of the community support they have received. For the 17th day in a row, Kentucky's positivity rate is down. There were 8,044 new cases today. Our total now tops 1.2 million since the start of the pandemic. 34 deaths were reported today, taking us to 13,216. As we said, the positivity rate was down again, now at 21.99%. That's the lowest since January 5th. Hospitalizations were slightly up today. The number of patients in the ICU and on a ventilator, though, were slightly down. You can always find the latest COVID information on our website at WYMT.com. Today, the Kentucky Senate Health and Wellness Committee approved an emergency resolution that would recognize natural COVID immunity. It's sponsored by Republican Senator Ralph Alvarado and would change state guidelines to recognize a positive antibody test as being the same as being fully vaccinated. It passed a first reading today. If approved by the House and Senate, it would be in effect until January 31st, 2023. And a bill to reduce Kentuckians' car tax bills passed the House. House Bill 6 would lower car property taxes in 2022 to the same level as last year and would give a refund to anyone who already paid this year's bill. It also changes the valuation process starting next year to avoid something similar happening. It will now head to the Senate. Tomorrow in Frankfort, a hearing on redistricting maps is scheduled to take place. It's in response to a lawsuit challenging the legality of the new Republican maps. The hearing will take place in Franklin County Circuit Court and will focus on the request for a temporary injunction to stop the redrawn maps from going into effect for now. We will cover that hearing tomorrow and we'll have an update on how things progress. A bill that would lay the framework for Kentucky colleges and universities to follow for student athletes' name, image, and likeness passed its first hurdle today. Senate Bill 6 now heads to the full Senate after a hearing which included testimony from UK men's basketball coach John Calipari and athletic director Mitch Barnhart. Coach Cal said other states should look at this bill when drafting their own NIL legislation. Chad Hedrick has more.
From the gridiron to the hardwood to the pitching mound, supporters of Kentucky's name, image, and likeness bill say it's all about protecting athletes and their opportunities to grow their brand while in college.
I've heard coaches say, well, we'd rather not have a bill. We could go do whatever we want. The problem with that is you don't have any safe harbor. How about this one? The NCAA could come back and say, you're wrong. We're not going to let you do that.
Before a Senate committee Wednesday, Coach John Calipari voiced his support for Kentucky's way of addressing NIL. At UK, Athletic Director Mitch Barnhart says since the governor's executive order in June permitting players profit off their name, image, and likeness, the university has over 800 transactions on file from about 250 athletes.
We don't know where this thing is going. We're not in a race to the bottom, but we just want to make sure where are we so we don't have to come back, whether it be change, repeal.
NIL does not mean paying student athletes to play their sports. It actually prohibits a university from compensating student athletes beyond scholarships and permissible educational benefits. They also can't use it as a recruitment tool and promise prospective athletes endorsement deals. But Coach Cal believes for his program in particular, it could help with retention of players who maybe are not fully ready to go pro, but are looking to make some cash.
The kids that have made mistakes leaving early because of it will stay. The ones I worry about are the ones I say, are you sure, Coach, I have to do this? Maybe a young man that could be drafted in the top 10 and he says, but I'm not ready, but I have to go. But now it's, no, you don't.
That was Chad Hedrick reporting. While NIL has certainly opened up a lot of doors for these athletes, it's also been a way for them to give back to communities that support their team. Coach Cal saying today his players donate 10% of what they generate to charity. The bill does put restrictions on who or what student athletes can put their name on. They cannot be illegal products or against NCAA rules. It also restricts athletes from promoting sports betting or adult entertainment. Tomorrow, the Senate Education Committee will take up Senate Bill 83, which would ban transgender girls from competing in girls' sports in Kentucky. Several other states have passed similar bills, including Tennessee and West Virginia. Right now, existing KHSAA policy requires transgender athletes to undergo sex reassignment surgery before competing on a team aligned with their gender identity. Most students spent today learning inside their classroom, but one group of students headed out to the Harlan Center. Those were the county district's gifted students. They participated in discussions on how to handle tough situations in life and deal with the workload that comes with being a gifted student. One important topic they discussed was mental health and making sure students take care of themselves, with staff asking students if they knew how important that is.
Mental health, more or less important than physical health, and everyone in there said physical health was more important, and then they discussed why that's not true, that they're both equally important.
More than 100 elementary and middle school age students participated. Laditra Morgan is an English teacher at Mountain View Elementary in Leslie County, teaching her 7th and 8th graders the effects their words can have on each other. What started as an assignment of writing words that hurt them in the past turned into writing words that have healed them. Morgan decided the kids needed to read what each other was going through. That's when the classes wrote the book Words That Hurt and Words That Heal by anonymously sharing their stories.
So I passed out what the kids had written, typed up, and it was all anonymous. And so I was like, read this, read what your classmates wrote, and then draw something to go along with the words. And that's how I really got them engaged.
The classes wrote and illustrated the entire book, bringing them closer together. Morgan says she noticed a change in them for the better and a lack of bullying in the classroom. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, hacked social media accounts lead to more than missing memories as business owners take financial hits. Our investigative team helps you avoid getting locked out.
And a few drops of rain possible tonight thanks to that weak system passing through. I'll have all the latest on how that affects the rest of our sunny week on the way.